Hello and welcome to Insight Indonesia, brought to you by the Jakarta Globe. I'm your host, Lynn Newman. This morning we're going to talk to you about how to get your dream job and what people are looking for in the Indonesian job market. I'm with an executive headhunter, is the informal term, Andrew Hares from the Monroe Consulting Group. Andrew, thank you very much for being here. You're in the manpower business. You help to find people to fill jobs, but before we talk about how that actually works, let's talk about what Indonesia needs in terms of manpower. What's going on in the labor market here?
Sure, Indonesia's a great place for businesses to come and set up, and it's very easy to get manpower if it is low-level, unskilled labor. Mm-hmm. There's still more people available than there are jobs at that level.
Sure.
The problem starts when you start needing people at the middle management to senior management, and that's where there's a huge shortage of talent in Indonesia. And I think a lot of that stems from the general level of education that's available in Indonesia. You know, the people who are getting the education that will put them on a track to fill those corporate positions is a very small percentage of the population. Mm-hmm. And out of that very small percentage, you have a number of those people who go straight into a family business, mm-hmm. Sure. A number of people who go overseas, and therefore that sort of small percentage is getting smaller and smaller. Sure. So historically, Indonesia's always had that shortage of people to fill those positions, and that's actually gotten even worse since 2008. Well,
this is certainly what we hear, and when we set up the Jakarta Globe about 4 years ago, 2008, we went through this struggle as well of looking for the right people to fill middle management and upper management jobs who had the training and the background and the inclination to do it. What are the key sectors that are really struggling to find people?
To be honest, it's right across the board, but you know, one sector in particular at the moment is the online technology sector. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of talk globally about the internet numbers that they're seeing in Indonesia, and you have a number of new businesses entering the marketplace. Now, the online business of Indonesia previously has been small entrepreneurial mm-hmm. setups. Running a very small company. But when you have these large internet companies entering the marketplace, Yahoo was the first to come here, followed by Multiply, and then more recently Rocket. Mm-hmm.
And then you got big locals. Kaskus is growing. A lot of these local ones are growing like crazy.
Absolutely right. But these multinationals in this online sector are coming in, and they're expecting someone with industry experience and running a big company. Ah. And therefore that just doesn't exist. So the pressure is really on that technology sector at the moment.
Now, a company then would come to you or a similar firm and say, here's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And then your job is to go out and find these very senior people.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
Absolutely. You know, I read a little survey last year in 2008 done by Castle Asia, and they had a forum with CEOs of Indonesia. Mm. And one of the questions on it was, you know, what's the biggest barrier between your business's growth? Mm. And the top response there was finding the manpower and retaining that manpower.
Retaining seems to be a key.
Absolutely.
No, you're a headhunter guy. Do you go out and just like poach people from places?
Yeah, all the time. You know, when you're looking at the mid to senior level people, you can't put an ad in Compass or the Globe and expect to get a response that is of a level that you're looking for. Mm-hmm. In Indonesia, the professionals are very clued in. They understand that they're in demand at the moment, and therefore they sit at their desks waiting for the calls to come to them. If you've, you know, that's where the quality person is. If someone's happy in their job and they're not applying to other positions, you pretty much know they're successful in their job as well.
And so those are the best people to look for and to network with.
Absolutely. You know, Monroe Consulting Group has been set up to find what we call the passive applicant. The one who,
passive applicant.
yeah, the one who doesn't know they want to apply for the position yet.
I was just sitting here minding my own business at my job, and some fellow shows up and says, "You're not as happy as you could be."
Exactly, and that's why the job market here is so fluid, because, you know, not just Indonesia, but, you know, across Asia, I think. The monetary aspect and remuneration that you get is very, very important. And therefore, if someone comes in and they've got a reasonable job and they're paying more money, there's not too many people around that's going to say no.
Yeah, well, this is not the world of lifetime employment, for sure.
Yeah.
The other thing is, now, just to highlight where we're going to go in the next segment, because we're almost out of time, is this all good news for expats?
No, it's not all good news for expats. There is some good news for expats, but it's mostly good news for Indonesians.
Yeah, I think that's an important point. We were talking off camera that for the expats, this is not an expat thing. This is an Indonesian labor market that's changed. Expats may find a role in it, but not the kind of role that they might have been dreaming of 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. The big expat packages with the private education, those deals are getting less and less in Indonesia.
Hold that thought. We're going to come back and talk more about grim news for expats in the job market, and also talk to you about what you should be doing to get noticed if you're looking to move up the ladder of corporate success. You're watching Inside Indonesia, brought to you by the Jakarta Globe. Stay with us.